Hello and welcome! This will be the last main part of this tutorial series for Melty Blood. This time we'll be detailing the properties of the moon gauge. Despite the moon gauge seeming to appear as a gradual gauge that fills up between 0 and 100%, your moon gauge is actually separated into a maximum potential of 10 segments, which are referred to as moon icons in-game. Moon gauge is required for moon skills, certain shield counter interactions, and moon drive. The following interactions will increase your moon gauge. Landing the first attack of a combo grants both players with one moon icon. However, if the attack landed scored a fatal counter, the attacking player receives 2 moon icons instead, and the defending player receives none. The first EX edge landed in a combo rewards 1 moon icon. Successfully shielding an attack rewards 2 moon icons after the cancellation or release of the shield. Please revisit the Part 3 defense guide to see why this is relevant. Charging down A plus B will generate moon gauge over time along with magic circuit at the cost of HP. Moon gauge properties during a match are nearly identical to that of how magic circuit functions. You start a round with your moon gauge fully maxed out, and your moon gauge from the end of one round will carry over to the next. If you are in moon drive when the round ends, no moon gauge carries over and you start the next round with an empty stock of moon gauge. Awakening does not influence your moon gauge at all. There are 3 main things that you can spend moon gauge on. The first of these are moon skills. Moon skills normally cost 3 moon icons, but if you have less than 3 moon icons remaining, it will simply use all of your leftover gauge instead. Moon skills are often very quick and safe variants of your special moves that can be input with a directional input and B plus C. Due to these properties, they are very versatile and easy to use. Very notably, most DP style moon skills can be jump cancels on hit, block, or whiff. As mentioned in a previous tutorial, moon drive skills cannot be cancelled if they themselves are shielded, so do not spam these moves too much or you will eventually be punished for it. The second key use for moon gauge are shield counters. When you shield an attack or your attack is shielded, you can press B plus C to perform a slice through shield counter which costs 5 moon icons or half of your moon gauge. This is one of the fastest and safest options you have when put in a shield war scenario, but it can be punished if your opponent is ready. It also causes a launch on hit, which can always be converted to a full combo. Before discussing moon drive, I will briefly mention that when you attempt a shield that doesn't block anything, you will lose 1 moon icon upon releasing shield. Note that if you're fatal countered while holding shield, you will still lose 1 moon icon for failing to shield an attack. Being out of moon gauge does not prevent you from shielding, and if you whiff a shield while at 0 moon gauge, nothing happens. Moon drive is an extremely powerful mechanic that gives you a Roman cancel, as well as an install that enhances your moon skills. It also pauses the game for a brief period, giving you a moment to assess the situation and respond to it. Moon drive requires at least 5 moon icons and has 3 frames of startup and 2 frames of recovery, all of which are invincible. This can actually cause certain meaty attacks to completely whiff your character and make them punishable. On a side note, as 2 of the 3 main moon gauge mechanics cost half of your moon gauge, it's a good idea to try to make sure you have your moon gauge half filled as often as possible. If your opponent has a hitbox in front of you when you use moon drive, they can respond with their own moon drive during the screen freeze to reset the frame advantage to neutral and eliminate any vulnerability they may have had. If you activate moon drive and your opponent is not doing anything, you'll be at a frame disadvantage due to the 2 frames of recovery, so your opponent will have the offensive initiative. The duration of the moon drive buff depends on how much moon gauge you had when activating it, and moon skills and shield counters can be executed at a slightly cheaper cost than usual while on moon drive. You can use either 6 moon skills back to back off a full gauge moon drive, or 3 shield counters. Moon Drive gives all of your moon skills neutralization frames, and when a neutralization occurs in this way, it consumes additional moon drive time, somewhere around 30% of the timer off a full gauge moon drive, for about 50% total when you include both the moon skill cost and the neutralization cost. These neutralization frames can be great for challenging meaty actions, but they have 2 weaknesses. The most glaring one is they are not throw invincible, so your opponent can punish you if you are using moon skills on wake up too often while on moon drive. The second is that because neutralizations can be freely cancelled, many characters can chain their meaty into something which can counter the moon skill you're using, or at least make it safe if they had the reaction for it. The various possible interactions and counterplay for neutralization is something that will definitely be worth studying into, and there is actually already a great guide that details the possible mind games from moon skill clashes that I will link in the description. That is everything to be said about the moon gauge system, and concludes this tutorial series. Thanks everyone for watching. I do hope you learned something from this, and again, I wish you all the best in your matches.